This is section 2 of the Paschal High School 2015-2016 Faculty Handbook. We will begin with student discipline as our first section in part 2. Expectations at Paschal High School are high in regard to behavior and good citizenship. We would like to emphasize to you that classroom management is absolutely essential. If any teacher at any point needs help from an administrator in regard to student discipline and ideas, we'd be happy to meet with you. We ask that you also utilize any other additional help such as coaches, sponsors, UIL directors. Oftentimes our students are involved in at least one activity, and the coaches and sponsors can tremendously help out in regard to classroom issues. Parent-guardian contact is mandatory, and I will get into that in the next slide. We ask that you use RTI strategies in the classroom, including things such as moving seats, conferences, and if you look through the RTI handbook, there will be many ideas that you can utilize if you are struggling with the discipline of a student. After all resources have been exhausted, we do ask you to go ahead and submit a referral on 360, and an assistant principal will be ready to assist. I would like to go over the difference between exigence and Review 360. Exigence is purely in regard to academics. If a student fails to do homework, if a student is failing, if they fail to bring supplies to class, any types of interventions you are doing in the classroom in regard to increasing academic success should be documented in exigence. There is one contact form that is going to be used for all parent contact, including behavioral, that can be found in the parent log on exigence. At the end of the school year, we did have all teachers use the exigence form to document classes failed. Review 360 is purely behavioral. In these cases, we would like for you to document any things that you have done before writing a referral. Anytime an assistant principal receives a referral, we will look into the exigence parent contact forms to see if the parent has been contacted first. That is the first and mandatory requirement in regard to behavioral issues. A parent or guardian must be contacted, and it must be documented. In addition, we ask that 360 behavioral documentation be submitted through Review 360 before referral is submitted. These things include sleeping in class, excessive tardies, disruptions, and the things that you have done as a teacher in the classroom to try to eliminate this behavior before a referral is submitted. Keep in mind that anything that you submit on 360 or in the focus system is public information that can be asked to be reviewed. The exact copy of what you submit will be given to parents, hearing officers, and even court officers if it becomes necessary. Discipline is meant to alter students' behavior, and it is progressive in nature. Just like it is progressive in nature in classroom, it is also progressive in nature in regard to what assistant principals do whenever it comes to consequences. We do follow a discipline matrix. However, sometimes extenuating circumstances inspire us to use different methods to help the student involved. In-school suspension is one of the disciplinary consequences a student can receive. A teacher may not assign a student to ISS, only an assistant principal may do that. And we do ask that teachers provide materials for students who are assigned to ISS so that they may have legitimate work to do while they spend the day in a separate classroom. On-campus intervention, or OCI, is a Tier 1 placement that is at Paschal High School. An administrative hearing is required before a student can be placed in OCI, and students are assigned up to 6 days as a placement. Students will work on OCI computer software materials. In addition, they may work on any assignments that they are missing in your classroom while they are assigned to OCI. The next section is in regard to grade reporting. We do think it is very important, as with all other documents and policy, that you are very, very familiar with the guide to grade reporting. Anytime you plan to lower a citizenship grade to an N or a U, the parent must be notified and it must be documented in exigence. You may not lower academic grades because of behavior. You may only lower citizenship grades. Makeup work and late work must be documented in your syllabus, and you are required to accept late work and makeup work for credit during the current 6-week period. If at any point a grade needs to be changed in the official system, there are certain procedures you need to follow. You will need to see Stephanie Boatner in the data office, and you will be giving a specific form to fill out and sign. It is important that you adhere to all grading deadlines. Ms. Boatner will publish due dates that teachers are expected to adhere to, and non-compliance in regard to missing grades is an issue that we've had among a few. However, overall, we have done a very good job with this. So please make sure that you are aware of due dates and get those grades to Ms. Boatner. Otherwise, she will follow up with you, and if that is not successful, then an assistant principal will sit down to have a non-compliance conversation. All students who participate in a UIL activity must maintain grade eligibility to compete. Any type of violations that we have in regard to the improper submission of grades or allowing students to participate if they are not eligible can result in sanctions for the entire school and not just for the offending sport. So it's very important that we follow all UIL eligibility requirements. Coaches will submit the list of their athletes to the data office, and each grading period, 3 weeks and 6 weeks, they will be checking grades and will be reaching out to you to see what kind of assistance they can offer with inspiring our participants to be successful in the classroom, therefore allowing for UIL competition. The next section is in regard to school finance. All purchase orders must originate with the department chairs. If you have financial needs, we ask that you discuss that with your department chair. Quotes must be attained before approval will be given, and it needs to be submitted to Chris Cole once quotes are obtained. We may only use approved Fort Worth ISD vendors. If you need help with securing a list of approved Fort Worth ISD vendors for your particular needs, see Chris Cole. This section is about field trips. We ask you, if you are planning a field trip, that you plan ahead. All field trips during the school day must have an educational purpose. If you need assistance with this, speak to your department chair. No field trips will be allowed during December or May due to EOC testing, and no field trips between October 6th through 18th due to the PSAT. All field trip requests for the fall semester are due by October 1st, and all field trip requests for the spring semester are due by February 1st. Field trip forms can be found in Chris Cole's office. Please fill out all important information, and Ms. Cole will submit it to Dr. Mossage for approval. It will then go to secondary leadership downtown for final approval. In regard to handling money, please ask before you proceed with any project. Be sure you plan ahead and don't wait until the last minute. Never accept money from a student without a 107 form. These forms can be found in Sherry Anderson's office. Never keep cash in your classroom, and make sure that it is not left in an unlocked filing cabinet or a desk drawer. You are responsible for all money in regard to school fundraisers and other projects. This section is in regard to testing. As everyone knows, we have district, state, and federal testing expectations, and Assistant Principal Michelle Guerra is the supervising principal over this topic. You will receive notifications and trainings for all required testing, and if you have any problems, we invite you to speak with Ms. Guerra, and more information and presentations will be forthcoming in regard to this topic. Counseling. Our counselors are located on the first floor in the counseling center, and I do invite you to look over the list of duties our counselors perform each and every day. If you need to refer a student to counseling, please speak with that student's assigned counselor. We do have a student support team, or what is known as our RTI team. This team consists of assistant principals, counselors, and other staff members, and we meet every 2 times per month, and we address concerns. We do need your input on Review 360 and exigence, so that whenever we meet regarding creating plans to help struggling students, that we have all important information. If you would like to refer a student for RTI services, please contact the appropriate school counselor. Please read the next section in regard to special needs students thoroughly. It is advised that you read this section because you are responsible legally for the contents and the implementation of anything a special needs student needs. All teachers are expected to attend scheduled ARD meetings and implement modifications as per the law. If you have questions in regard to special education issues, we ask that you see James Sparrow, who is the assistant principal, and Dr. Donna Harkey, the diagnostician, or Dana Deal, the special ed department chair. This section covers limited English proficient students. Assistant Principal Barbara Ozuna is the supervisor of our LET population. Please see her if you have further questions. The last part of your handbook includes operations and safety security. Assistant Principal Ryan Hoyler will be over keys. Please make sure you secure your classrooms when leaving each day and report lost keys to Chris Cole. If you have custodial concerns, please report them to Assistant Principal Jennifer Fuller. Work orders should be submitted to Chris Cole. Jennifer Fuller is still the lead of safety and security. Separate presentations will be sent to you in regard to safety and security. So please take a moment and just review the basics and expect to see more comprehensive presentations in regard to safety and security and the expectations for the school year and safety drills. Lastly, Ryan Hoyler is our textbook supervisor, and he will be sending out a distribution schedule. Thank you for paying attention, and we expect a wonderful school year.